Hi everybody, welcome back to Chalkboard Yoga Studies. I'm Jacob Kyle. Thanks for joining us again for another edition of Chalkboard Yoga Studies where we explore a yoga concept from the yoga tradition. Today I'm coming down with, or I'm recovering from a little bit of a cold, so if I start to sound a little scratchy or like I have a frog in my throat, I apologize for that. Please bear with me. So today we're going to go over the term Atman. Atman is a really significant concept in the yoga tradition because it signifies that final goal of the yoga practice. What we're looking to realize within our experience is this concept of Atman. Now, Atman means the self that is our true nature, that we're looking to discover and reveal and arrive at and reside within through the practices of yoga. So that's sort of the final goal, the final resting place of the practice is really this realization of our true self. But self, let's just unpack that a little bit, because self is often confused with the self of the West, where the self in the West is really what I would call a small s self compared to the capital S self that is Atman. The small s self is the psychological self. It's the self that has character traits, personality traits, labels, ideas, emotions, and all of these kinds of concepts that we attach to who we are and say, you know, Jacob is this, that, and the other thing, and that's what makes Jacob separate or different from everyone else. And in the West, we have a cultural value system that really revolves around this idea of being different from other people and really taking refuge in that difference. But in the yoga tradition, this is not the case. The capital S self is the true self, and the small s self is actually an illusion, or it distracts us from who we truly are. And actually, in the yoga tradition, if you are to too much attach yourself to an idea of what you are that is related to all of these concepts and ideas and emotions and categories, then you're going to suffer, because the nature of life is to be in motion and to be in flux. And so if you over-identify yourself with any particular constellation of concepts or identities, then you're going to start to feel trapped, and you're going to suffer. At least that's according to the yoga tradition. So I've put a few definitions here. We've already gone over the self, the capital S self. Then it also means soul, but soul has to be qualified a little bit, because soul is also tends to be understood in the West as a soul is, you know, you have a human body, and then there's a soul that is within that human body, and when we die, we pass away, and the soul remains, but it's an individual soul among many individual souls. In the yoga tradition, this is not the case. In Atman, when you realize the soul, you realize that the soul is one with all things. So there's no separate soul. The idea of separateness is only a confusion, according to this tradition. And when you realize your true self, your capital S self, you realize that you are one with everything. Everything that you see, everything that appears, becomes a reflection, or you realize is a reflection of who you are. Okay? And then principle of life. Atman means principle of life, which means that Atman really is the source of all life. It's the source of existence. It's the ground from which all life emanates, and it's also the place to which all life returns. So we're always moving in this kind of pulsation between following into illusion about what we are, and then returning to a state of knowledge of what we are, of the true self, of Atman. The seer of reality. So when you discover, when you realize your true self as Atman, it is said that you will see reality as it truly is. And that doesn't mean you'll see, you know, objects among objects. That means you'll see that everything is ultimately interconnected. That when you see reality for what it truly is, you see the web of existence as being one unified, complementary totality. That this world of difference and appearances, where things appear to be opposite and in conflict with one another, is really just from a certain perspective, that once we realize the true self, once we realize Atman, we realize that was in some sense an illusion. Okay, so Atman, the true self, the capital S self. So that's pretty much it. Thanks so much for joining us for another Chalkboard Yoga Studies. Again, my name is Jacob Kyle. If you're new to 5 Tattvas and our offerings, please check out our website, 5tattvas.com, FIVETATTVAS.com. We've got a lot of great stuff going on over there. You can also sign up for our weekly e-zine, which includes these videos, Chalkboard Yoga Studies. It also includes our Dharma Talk podcast called Rasa Talks, and we also include a lot of our most popular writings from the blog written by some of our incredible writers over at the website. So I hope you'll join us for that. If not, I'll see you next time on Chalkboard Yoga Studies. Thanks so much. Have a great week. Bye-bye. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.